Hello everyone, hope you are well. On this Monday afternoon, the sun came back out. It is about 84 degrees here right now. Not terribly bad, but it's humid. It's kind of sticky. We have several things to cover. We have the federalization, am I saying that right? Federalization of a city by Trump, Washington, D.C. I'll go into that a little bit. We have multiple, not just one, we have multiple explosions in a Pennsylvania steel plant. Go into that a little bit. Also, we have a situation where home prices are tumbling. They're going down, and they're going down pretty fast. And this is a nationwide thing. Now, this doesn't mean it's happening in every part of the country, but it's a nationwide trend overall. So I'll go into that also. First, this explosion. This is wild. This was in Clairton, if I'm saying that right, Clairton, Pennsylvania. First, it was reported earlier today as a single large explosion at a U.S. steel plant. The latest that I've heard is that there is one life that was lost. So one fatality and many injured. So many injuries on this thing. But then I saw an update that said that from the governor that said that multiple explosions took place at this steel plant. Multiple. Now, when I hear multiple explosions, it doesn't mean for sure, but it starts to make me question and wonder what the heck happened. Will we ever know? Will they ever tell us? Will we get an update? Probably not. But a steel plant, was it on purpose? Was it a sabotage? Was it just an accident? Yeah, was it on purpose, targeted? We don't know, and if it is, they probably won't come out and say it. But I thought this was interesting, the multiple explosions part of it. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, a steel plant, what other further implications would this have? I know it's one plant, but this thing looked huge in the pictures. But, what implications would this have as far as the cost of things? I don't know. Construction, housing, would it affect that mostly, or just basic commercial manufacturing maybe? I don't know. Let me know what you think on that. Home prices tumbling. They're tumbling pretty fast, and many are calling it a crisis. Now, I don't think they're calling it an all-out housing crash just yet, but it looks like it could go that way. There was a map, they said, that showed pinpoint where home prices are tumbling the fastest. I'll go over that in a minute. Said home prices are being slashed across the United States as the housing market cools down big time, with one city seeing them plunge almost 7%. I'll go into that. July prices dropped year over year. In 14 of the 50 most populous U.S. cities, Florida, California, Texas, were hit hard, y'all. Let's see. Homes are now lingering for weeks and months. A stark contrast on the red-hot days of bidding wars and same-day offers. Remember those a few years ago? We had a neighbor that sold and moved, I don't know, it's probably been a good 3 years, maybe longer ago, and I think the dang thing sold within hours, like the same day. I mean, I think they had it sold for sure the next day, but the day it went up, there were multiple offers, like a bidding war on this thing. It's unreal. Just right down the street from us, same neighborhood. Miss Dogger and I were like, dang, maybe we ought to sell, but then you got to move somewhere. You got to get into something else, right? I mean, most folks are like us. Even if we wanted to move, you're stuck. You're stuck like Chuck. Just depending on your situation, of course. But I don't know. The way things are now, I don't, if you're going to move, if you're planning or you want to move from where you are now, I would still give it a while. I would shoot, y'all. I'd see what it does next 6 months, maybe a year. I'd wait at least that long. You could see a total crash, get something cheaper. Now, depending on your current situation, you may have to sell that too, and you know what happens there. Anyway, cities where they're tumbling the fastest. Let's see. Number 1, Oakland, California. Not a big surprise. Oakland, California. And then after that, West Palm Beach, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, Austin, Texas, Houston, Texas, Sacramento, California, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Tampa, Florida, Fort Worth, Texas, Las Vegas, Nevada. Interesting. Riverside, California, Atlanta, Georgia, Seattle, Washington, Phoenix, Arizona. Interesting. A lot of Florida, a lot of California, and a few Texas ones in there. Yeah, I'm not surprised Atlanta. I kind of am and not surprised about Atlanta, Georgia. I think with Atlanta metro area, I think it depends on where, because some places in metro Atlanta, I will tell you, they still selling houses. They're still selling. Now, that may not be the case 6 months from now, 3 months from now. It is starting to change. I am noticing more for sale signs up than I have in a long time, and they're staying up for a while. And I think a lot of people are just kind of like, you know, they're living in the past where they think they're going to get a lot of money, and then they think they're going to get more than what they will out of their home. Anyway, Trump federalizes. Now this is interesting. Trump has decided to federalize the Metro Police of Washington, D.C. and seize control. Also using the National Guard to target out-of-control crime, especially with teens. Young teen crime is out of control there. They're saying that this raises legal questions about presidential powers over Washington, D.C. I'm not an expert on that. If you are, feel free to chime in and let us know about that. Be interested to get your comments either way. But many, they say that many of these criminals, especially these young criminals, are getting off the hook with light sentences, probation, nothing at all, just getting let go. So their aim is to crack down on this surge of violent crimes, change the laws to where they get long sentences. Even the younger ones, the youth, the teens. Also on this is they're going to evict the homeless there's a lot of it getting bad everywhere, but Washington, D.C. has its areas, I'm sure. They evict the homeless from the nation's capital. Trump said earlier that the homeless must be immediately evicted. My question is where? Where are they going to go? Where are you going to put these people? I have mixed feelings about that in the work that I do. He said, we will put them somewhere far, talking about the homeless, we will put them somewhere far from the capital. He doesn't get specific really with that. He said, now as for the criminals, you don't have to worry about moving. We're going to put you in jail where you belong. I'm good with that. Okay. My question is twofold. It's number one, the homeless. I mean, where are they going to go? Where are you going to put them? I mean, are you going to put them in, it would be cool to get a little more details on that. I will tell you from experience, a lot of homeless are also dealing with mental health issues, alcoholism, drugs, substance abuse out the wazoo. Not all of them, but many are. Now, if you're caught in the middle, living in a van, living out of your car, and you're not on drugs, you don't have mental health issues, and life happens. I blame nobody for that. I don't blame them. In this economy and jobs loss and all that, somebody might find themselves living out of the car. It happens often. It's happening more often. So does this outlaw them from just spending the night in their vehicle somewhere? So they're going to be those cases, I'm sure. But where are they going to put the homeless folks? If they're able to set up something for them to get services as far as mental health services, something like that, that would be awesome. It just doesn't give any, a lot of as far as details on that. And then the other question I have is federalizing the Metro Police. I mean, I don't know, how's that going to work? I know he's mentioned National Guard as well. You know, how, I don't know how, I'm not a law enforcement expert, I'm not a lawyer. Is that, how feasible is that really? You know, and what precedent would that set? Maybe what you know, what if and when the Democrats get back in the White House, you know, what would they do with something like this? And what would we be saying if they said, well, we're going to federalize the police force in ABC, this city? You know, we would be like, well, who else are you going to grab? Who else are you going to grab? Are you just grabbing criminals? You know, so, you know, just trying to be fair. And I'm all for cracking down on the crime, because big issue is there's little to no ramifications or consequences for these crimes, especially violent crime, and because it keeps happening and it's increasing, it's becoming a problem. So I'm all for that. I just have, you know, a few little questions about it. What do you guys think about it? Let me know your thoughts on that. Let's see. I'm going to go to a passage here in a little bit, but you know, I think we should. I think we need to keep preparing. Always that you can, y'all. I know in my video yesterday, I was afterwards, Miss Dog's like, you got any good news, man? You got any good news? And I'm like, yeah, the good news is at the end. But, you know, and I think we need to, and yeah, I think we definitely need to stay positive as well. And let's be encouraged. I'm going to read a passage here that will encourage you, you know, that will also help out, of course. But I think we need to stay positive. Let's keep working hard in our preparations and what we do to do everything we can to get ahead of what is coming economically with our economy, y'all. Best case scenario gets better later on. It's going to get worse before it gets better, if it gets better, and when it does. So in the meantime, whatever you can to build up yourselves, your property, your finance, your houses in order to where we can weather what is coming, because it is coming. Nothing's stopping it. I don't think it would matter who's in charge. I don't think it would matter who's president. This has been in motion for quite a while, and we're starting to feel it real time right now. They're talking about gold over what, $3,400 an ounce. Think about that. An ounce of gold, $3,400. It could get to $3,500. Think about that. Now, I don't have that kind of money to just go out and buy bars of gold or even an ounce right now. Dang. If you're into metals, I would look at silver. But your assets, you know, let's protect what we have that is worth something. You know, whether that's your metals, whether that's land, you know, your land, your property, things of worth. Okay, or value, things that are of value. Anyway, I'm going to the passage. I'm in Isaiah 60. Isaiah 60, let's see. I'm going to start with 18. Concentrating kind of more on 19, 20. Start with 18. Violence will not be heard again in your land, nor devastation or destruction within your borders, but you will call your walls salvation and your gates praise. No longer will you have the sun or light by day, nor will the moon give you light for brightness. But you will have the Lord as an everlasting light. Amen. and your God as your glory. And then the last verse 20, your sun will no longer set, nor will your moon wane, for you will have the Lord as an everlasting light, and the days of your mourning will be over, y'all. So no matter what what we have coming to us, even if it happens in our lifetime, and no matter what it happens, and whatever your circumstances are right now, you will have the Lord, in all caps, the Lord, your God, as an everlasting light, y'all, and your God as your glory. An everlasting light. Just hang on to that. Hold on to that. I don't care what's happening. We have that. Grab a hold of it and embrace it, and let's walk close with him. Stay close to Jesus as our Savior, y'all. He came to redeem us. Let's hold on to that. Definitely, too. So anyway, let's stay alert. Keep prepared, but be safe out there. God bless you. I'll see you soon.